Warringah.
To the Prime Minister. State governments have led the way with prohibitions on industry donations and anti-corruption watchdogs. In contrast, at federal level, we still have no national integrity and anti-corruption watchdog and no prohibition on political donations from property development, mining, tobacco or gambling industries. This is the virus corrupting our democracy. Rather than introducing legislation to bring federal donations laws up to scratch and protect our democracy, your government has introduced legislation to get around stronger state government laws. Why?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for her question. I've asked the Attorney if he wished to speak to the matters of the Integrity Commission issues that the member has raised. The Joint Standing Committee on Electoral Matters is the committee which I have indeed served on when I first come into this place. Many members have served on those committees as we view the electoral process and the elections on each occasion they're conducted, and the matters which you make mention of are reviewed, and I understand that is still taking place now from the last election, and I look forward to seeing its report. But the Attorney may want to speak to the issues regarding the Integrity Commission, but I'd be very surprised if those opposite in the Labor Party would be asking questions about integrity today.
The Prime Minister has the call. So the Attorney General has the call.
Thank you,
members
Mr.
on
Speaker.
both sides.
I thank the member for her question. I might just quickly touch on the electoral issue as well. There have been a number of reforms that the government has instituted in recent years with respect to donations, and many of them relating to foreign donations. And I'm very happy to provide a summary of those to the member individually. Of course, giving the analogy of the state prohibitions that have existed in some states with respect particularly to property developers, there are issues at a federal level with those types of laws which go back to a range of decisions of the High Court on constitutional matters, going back to the ACTV decision and the implied freedom of political communications. So those comparisons, if I might say respectfully, aren't perfect comparisons. With respect to the Integrity Commission, as the member is aware, and we've discussed the model that the government has got for an Integrity Commission, and I know that the member prefers some features of some other models to those that the government is proposing, but nevertheless there's been serious design attention to that Integrity Commission body. We have put $106.7 million worth of new money and allocated that to the Integrity Commission over the forward estimates. That excludes, I should say, the $40.7 million of existing funding for ACLI. By comparison, members opposite promised $58.7 million, so the commitment that we've given is almost $89 million greater to that Integrity Commission. Obviously, there have been other priorities for the government, whilst, as the opposition have noted, hundreds of thousands of Australians have very sadly lost jobs or in 0 hours now because of the COVID pandemic. But we are now revisiting the issue of the Integrity Commission and our legislation, and no doubt you and I will have further conversations on that.